Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Contador Publico at your service. Okay, so good afternoon. Today, meron na naman po tayong Facebook friend who sent a sample problem and medyo we need to coach him. Okay, so paano isosolve ang ganitong types of problem? So, this is the problem. Juan Giancarlo Dalangin, a dentist, established Dalangin Clinic. The following transactions occurred during June of this year. Okay, so meron siyang 14 transactions from letter A to letter N. Okay, so ano ang required? Using the following accounts, we have to prepare the journal entries. We have to post it to the ledger. And we have to prepare a trial balance. So, anong difference nito sa isang example ko? So, in here, you will see, I have presented the journal entries in a PowerPoint view. Hindi tayo naka-Excel today. And, so since yung ledger ko last time is a proper general ledger, I will show you how, kung paano yung T-account version na yan. And, since na-explain ko na in detail how to post, in my previous video. So, quick snapshot na lang ito ng ating general ledger. And then, we also have to prepare a trial balance. Okay, so let's start analyzing the transactions. Okay, so let us begin with the journals. Okay, transaction A. Dalangin deposited 280,000 in a bank account in the name of the business. So, what happened? He deposited cash. So, nag-increase ang cash in bank or cash no business. Since cash increased and cash is an asset, you debit your cash. And of course, alam nyo na ito, I have explained in some of my videos, when the owner deposited or invested in a business, so you credit the capital. So, meron tayong given account title, so we use the Dalangin Capital 280,000. Let's proceed to transaction B. So, transaction B, you bought a 3-in-1 or Dalangin company the Dalangin Clinic bought a 3-in-1 office equipment from Titular Equipment for 4,950, paying 1,000 in cash and balance on account. So, paano yung ganito? You have to analyze it one by one. Number one, what did you buy? Ano yung na-receive ng company? So, the business bought equipment. Now, you go to your account title. Ano yung nakikita mo doon na account na pwedeng pumasok yung equipment. So, office equipment. Doon sa account title mo, may account title na office equipment. So, your office equipment increased. And it's an asset. Okay? So, any increase in asset, again, is debit. So, you debit office equipment. Now, for every debit, you have to have a credit, right? Pero sinabi sa'yo, you paid cash and the balance on account. How do you analyze this? Paid cash, madali, diba? So, paid cash, nagbayad ka, your cash decreased. Therefore, you credit cash, 1,000. So, ano po yung balance on account? Balance on account, ibig sabihin, yung kakulangan, the balance. Okay? So, meron kang 4,950 na binili. Binayaran mo 1,000. So, may utang ka pa na 3,950. Again, whenever you see something that says on account, so, kung bumili ka, meron ka niya na accounts payable or your accounts payable increased and it's a liability account. Therefore, you credit your accounts payable by 3,950. Okay, let's go to transaction. You bought waiting room chairs and a table, paying cash 12,300. So, ano ba yung chairs and table? Pag tingin mo sa account title, meron kang office, furniture. Okay? So, ang chairs and table, these are furnitures, right? So, if you go to your account titles, it's office furniture. Nag-increase ba ang office furniture? Yes. So, office furniture is an asset and it increased, therefore debit office furniture. And then, you paid cash. So, your cash, nagbayad ka. So, your cash decreased by 12,300. Therefore, nag-credit ka ng cash. Okay, let's proceed to transaction D. You bought office intercom on account from NE Supply 2,750. Okay. Ano yung nadagdag? Office intercom, kung makikita mo yung account titles mo, okay, so papasok siya sa office equipment. Okay, so naka-receive ka kasi bumili ka. So na-receive siya ng business. Therefore, your office equipment increased. Again, office equipment is an asset, so you debit office equipment 2,750. Sabi again, on account. So, hindi mo pa siya binayaran. So, your liability or your accounts payable increased, okay, by 2,750. Automatic yan. Pag may binili ka, nakita mo on account, so credit accounts payable. Okay, let's go to transaction E. Received and paid the telephone bill. So, naka-receive ka ng phone bill, okay, and binayadan mo siya. So, anong nag-increase? Nag-increase ang gastos mo. Gastos mo sa utility. So, pag tingin mo sa account titles, saang account siya papasok? Utilities, ito yung water, electricity, pwede rin communications or phone bills. Okay, so, we'll use the title utilities expense. Okay, so nag-increase ang gastos or utilities expense ng company. And expense, kapag nag-increase, ito ay debit. Okay, and what decreased? Okay, nagbayad ka. So your cash decreased. So it's credit, cash 1,000. Next, transaction F. You performed professional services on account for 12,940. Okay? Ito, ikaw naman yung nag-render ng service. Okay? Pag nag-render ka ng service, you have a revenue or an income. In this case, kung tingin mo sa account titles, ginamit niyang account is professional fees. Okay? So, yun yung another entry mo. So, ano naman yung isa pa? On account. So, hindi pa siya bayad. So, meron kang pautang or accounts receivable. So, nag-increase ang accounts receivable, nag-increase ang revenue. Alin yung debit? Okay? Increase in accounts receivable, since asset siya, you would debit accounts receivable. And increase in revenue, okay, revenue, increases in revenue, as I've said multiple times, is credit. Okay, so you use the account titles provided for you. So, accounts receivable, debit, credit, professional fees. Okay, now let's go to transaction G. Received and paid the electrical bill, 1,850. Okay, so again, nag-increase ang utilities mo. So, you will debit the expense and paid. Okay, so your cash decreased. So, you credit cash 1,850. Para lang yung kanina na you received and paid the telephone bill. Same lang. Okay, transaction H. Received and paid the bill for the regional dental convention, 3,500. So, since nagka-bill, na-bill ka, may expense ka dito, di ba? And paid, so your cash decreased by 3,500. Now, ano po siyang expense? Tignan mo yung account titles mo. Saan ba siya nag-fit? Hindi naman siya rent, hindi siya salaries, hindi siya utilities. So, you use the miscellaneous expense. Okay? 3,500. And your cash, of course, since nagbayad ka, your cash decreased. Therefore, credit. Okay, let's go to transaction I. You performed professional services for cash, 17,650. Okay, so nag-perform ka ng service again. So your revenue increased or your income increased. Okay? And for cash, so naka-receive ka daw ng cash. So again, increases in cash is debit and increases in revenue is credit. So napakadali, di ba? Okay? Let's go to the next transaction. Partially settled accounts with NE Office Supply 1,000. Kung matatandaan mo, sa isang transaction natin, we bought equipment from NE Office Supply. Okay? So, on account, may accounts payable ka. Okay? In your first entry, nag-record ka ng accounts payable. Sabi, partially settled. So, nagbayad ka partially ng 1,000. Kapag nagbabayad ka, anong nag-decrease? Nababawasan ang utang mo or your accounts payable and nababawasan ang cash mo. Okay? So, decreases in accounts payable is debit. Kasi ang increase credit, so ang decrease in accounts payable is debit accounts payable. And your cash decreased, so of course, you credit cash 1,000. So, ganyan siya. Okay. Transaction K naman tayo. You paid rent for the month, 8,400. So, anong nag-increase? Nag-increase ang iyong upa. So, or expense mo sa upa. Okay? So, gumastos ka para sa upa ng clinic. So, pag tingin mo sa account titles, ano siya? Rent expense. So, since expense increased, you will debit rent expense. Now, paid. Once you see the word paid, your cash decreased. For expenses, ha? For expenses or bills, once you say the word paid, ibig sabihin, may cash involved. So, you credited cash 8,400. Okay, transaction L. You paid salaries of the part-time receptionist for 3,500. Okay. So, nagbayad ka ng sweldo. Salaries. Tingin ka ulit sa account title. Gastos siya, di ba? Yung sweldo, gastos yan. So, hanapin sa account titles, anong papasok na expense yan? So, salaries expense. Again, nag-increase ang salaries expense. So, it's debit salaries expense. And then, since you paid an expense or nagbayad ka ng expense, nabawasan ang cash. So, credit cash, 3,000. Okay, transaction M. Dalangin withdrew cash for personal use, 8,500. Kung pinanood niyo yung previous videos ko, alam niyo na to. Okay, so, nabawasan ang cash kasi nag-withdraw ang owner. Okay? Ano ang dinidebit? Again, as per my previous videos, whenever there's a withdrawal by the owner, you use the withdrawals or the drawings account. Ngayon, dito sa problem nito, we are given the account title, dalangin withdrawals. So, nag-increase ang withdrawals niya. Therefore, you debit 8,500. As I've said again and again, withdrawals is a contra equity. Therefore, your normal balance ay debit. Okay? Cash. Credit cash. Kasi withdraw cash nga eh. So, your cash decreased. Nabawasan ang cash. Credit cash. Okay. Last transaction. Transaction N. You received 5,500 in cash on account from patients who were previously billed. Okay. So, naka-receive ka daw ng cash dun sa mga may utang sa'yo. Okay? So, pag may utang sa'yo, di ba, nag-i-increase ang accounts receivable. Okay? Since binayadan ka, naka-receive ka ng cash. So, nag-increase ang cash at nag-decrease ang accounts receivable mo naman. Okay? So, since increase in assets or increase in cash ay debit. At decrease in asset or decrease in your accounts receivable is your credit. So, that yun yung inyong mga accounting entries for these transactions. Now, Tapos na tayo sa general journals. We'll now proceed with the general ledgers. Okay? As I've said, I'll just quickly give you the snapshot kung ano yung itsura ng general ledgers nyo because if you want a detailed explanation paano siya pino-forward, just go to my general ledger video service entity din yun. Okay? So, here is your general ledgers. Ano yung itsura ng general ledger? So, to present to you in a simpler way, I use the account version. Okay? Makikita nyo, bawat account dyan, merong T accounts. Okay? Have this T. Bakit po T? Okay, yan. Yun siya. T. So, your cash. So, lahat ng transactions, from transactions A to N, ipopost mo siya or iti-transfer mo siya. Posting. In accounting, we call it posting to the general ledgers from your general journal. So, okay, letter A, meron kang debit na 280,000, meron kang credit sa capital. Diba? So, referencing. Since walang reference numbers dito, so we use the transaction letters. So, here you would see debit, transaction A, 280, credit, balangin capital, 280. Okay, letter B naman, okay, hanapin mo si B. Siya, sorry, yung letters ko dapat nandito. Okay, so, letter B, yon, office equipment increased. Okay, then, your cash, you credit 1,000, and then you credit accounts payable 3,950. Okay, so yan siya. Ganyan mag-post. So, kung ano lang yung debit, ilagay mo sa debit ng account na yon. Ano yung credit, ilagay mo siya sa credit side. Okay, so debit, credit, debit, credit. And then, you will get the kung alin yung mas malaki. So, cash, kung makikita mo, ang cash is an asset. Cash, AR, office equipment, and office furniture, these are assets. So, normal balances niya ay debit balances. And, ito naman, liabilities and equity. Okay? Liabilities and equity, ang normal balance niya, again, ay credit. Okay? Except for your contra equities. Kasi contra siya eh. So, inverse. So, debit ito. And then, your professional fees, okay, it's a revenue account. Therefore, ang revenue again, hindi dahil sa asset siya or whatever. Ang revenue nakakadagdag sa capital. Your net income increases your capital. Kaya, kung ano ang increase, kung anong treatment mo sa capital, yun ang treatment sa revenue. Kaya credit, balance lagi. Or, ang normal balance ng revenue mo. And then, your expenses naman. Your expenses reduces your net income. Nababawasan niya ang net income mo kasi professional or revenues minus expenses is your net income. Since nakakabawas siya sa capital, inverse ulit ang relationship. So, ang regular balance niya ay debit. So, yan siya. We double rule. I-double rule mo yung total or yung net amount. Okay, kukunin mo yung net amount kasi this balances ngayon, yung ending balances mo na tinatawag, ito ang ita-transfer mo naman or ipopost mo to our trial balance. Okay, so here you go. You have your cash at 262,020, your AR, your office equipment, office furniture, accounts payable, capital, withdrawals, professional fees, salaries, expense, rent, utilities, and miscellaneous expense. So now, let's proceed with our trial balance. Okay, so again, meron akong detailed video ng mas mabagal na discussion on this, but since you can just view that on the other video, so for this one, we'll just show you a quick recap. So, sa trial balance, you would show, okay, the title of the company, the trial balance, what is the period. Okay, wala namang binigay niya years sa problem, so I just assume June 2020. So, ilalagay mo dito yung account titles or your account names. And then, you have a debit column and a credit column. Okay? Tapos, ilalagay mo dito lahat ng account titles unahin mo yung asset by liquidity. Okay? Liquidity, ibig sabihin kung gaano siya katagal ma-convert into cash. So, unahin mo yung current assets mo, yung cash, accounts receivable, then yung non-current assets mo, office equipment and office furniture, and then, after your asset comes your liabilities, since isa lang naman ang liability mo dito, then your equity accounts, your capital, then your withdrawals, and then your revenue accounts, then your expense accounts. Okay? Ipopost mo lang kung ano yung balance. So, ang cash, meron siyang debit balance, ilagay mo siya sa debit column. Yung AR, may debit balance, so ilalagay mo siya sa debit. Kung ano yung balances, ilagay mo lang siya sa debit side or credit side. Then, you foot. Ito-total mo siya or you foot the totals. Itong tawag dito is footing. As you can see, your trial balance always balances. So, laging equal yan. If it's not equal, there's something wrong on your entries or baka there's something wrong on the way you posted from your general journal to your general ledgers. Okay, so this is your trial balance for Langin Clinic. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and God bless.
That's it for today. This is your Contador Publico, your friendly neighborhood CPA at your service. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and push the notification bell to be notified of new videos. God bless and good luck to all!